This is a horse. I'm going to take a wild guess and say that you've probably seen or at least heard of horses. As a recovering childhood horse girl, I've always found horses as a species to be fascinating and also a little cute and silly. As a non-recovering dinosaur kid, I've become increasingly intrigued about why they are the way that they are evolutionarily. Today we'll look at transition species that led to the modern horse, Equus ferus cavallus, as well as interesting traits that these fat hoof raccoons have kept into the modern day. To start, let's take a look at early horse relatives. Hyracotherium, or Eohippus depending on who you ask, is one of the earliest examples of distinctly horse-like animals. Hailing from the early Eocene, Eohippus has 5 toes and is only about the size of a coyote. One of the biggest differences between them and later horses was the environment that they lived in. These were little guys who were hanging out in forested areas, and their big toes were helpful for them to make their way through wetlands and some swamp-like terrain that happened in the Eocene. But as the world cooled down and got drier, though, they began to have to adapt. The Oligocene brought harsher and drier conditions across North America, which led to animals needing to cope with more grassland-like environments. And feet that could be used as shock absorbers for running great distances began to develop. Mesohippus was a product of this, with its name meaning middle horse, symbolizing its position in the equine lineage. They were a fair bit larger than Hyracotherium, and with their newfound running lifestyle, they had evolved to have less toes, only 3, with bonier ends that made it easier for them to cover hard ground quickly. During this time, horse relatives also began to possess taller teeth, as they switched from a foraging lifestyle to more open grazing. These taller teeth helped them to reduce wear so they wouldn't lose the ability to munch as they got older. Give it a couple million years and we finally get to Merychippus and then Myohippus, who each showed more adaptations to survive these harsh, dry conditions. The side 2 toes on these guys began to fall further back into the back of the foot, and the middle nail became more modified. Eventually, these traits became so extreme that the back 2 toes left the scene, with the only physical evidence of them today being the chestnut that's on the internal side of a horse's leg. Today, we have ridden into the history of horses, from Hyracotherium to our very own Equus ferus cavallus. Thank you for listening to my ramblings on horses, why they're here, and why they are so weird. And also why they're cool, I suppose. Bye!